What's up, everybody? I kind of wanted to go over a few basic things with you guys about budgeting today. Most budget expenses can be filed into one of three categories. One is going to be your fixed monthly or weekly, yearly expenses, your variable expenses, and what's categorized as saving expenses. And I will explain what that is here in a minute. To create a budget is actually really easy, a basic budget. Just take your gross monthly income or weekly or yearly, however you want to do it. Most people do monthly as a baseline and then break it down into weekly categories. Then take your um, all of your expenses for the same time frame and just subtract your expenses from your income. That will give you your monthly or weekly, yearly surplus or lack thereof. uh, to create a budget, um, when I go over budgeting with people, I do two things. I have my standard list of percentages that based on your income. It doesn't matter if you make 5,000, 50,000, 500,000. The percentages are the same because the formula is the same. The only thing that's different is your income, and that's going to change the percentage. Um, but I take certain percentages. For lower middle class and poor low income, I recommend for super low income, I recommend 50 to 60, usually 60 to 70% of the total income to use on living expenses and trying to get yourself up out of that situation. And then 30% into savings to invest accounts. You never just want to let money sit in the bank, especially for very long, not with the way that their interest rates are right now. If you do have money in a bank account, like what I do with mine is I just have it there long enough to save it to find something to invest in. So I take my list of percentages for upper middle class, more wealthier people. I I'm a little bit more bullish with it. I say about 40%, 30 if you can manage it. If you're super hardcore like I am, like high speed, um, 30 to 40% on living expenses, and then the rest into savings to invest, investing in yourself, uh, different classes, skill sets, whatever you need to do. Um, that's what I like to do with it. And then so I take my numbers and I have the client or whoever I'm working with create their list of total expenses, and then I compare that to my list of percentages. And I like to work with people to do two things, to both increase the top line and decrease the bottom line. So that way you're working from both ends, and in my mind, you're accomplishing things twice as fast that way. So um, that's what I like to do with people. And then once they come up with that and we come up with a plan to get the top line increased and decrease the bottom line, get the percentages to where they're going to be in a better place with less work in the future, work smarter, not harder kind of thing, uh, then a lot of people find that much more beneficial. It alleviates a lot of stress and anxiety about the financial future that people will have, especially going into the recession and um, a lot of the bubbles and the house, all the stuff that's about to happen. So, um, a few things that fall into the fixed expenses category, and some of these have subcategories that you can break it down to even further, depending on where you're located and what your exact situation is. So some things that qualify as fixed expenses are your phone payments, your family plan if you have one, your phone insurance, insurance, vehicle payments if you're leasing, or making payments to buy, your insurances like your health insurance, your house insurance, renters, whichever you have, life insurance. If you have a camper, RV, or boat, then you have to have insurance on that. A trailer, your cable and TV, can be broken down depending on where you live and what your situation is. Internet, because these are all fairly regular expenses that don't fluctuate too much. Your subscriptions, trash services, childcare, pet insurance, student loans, you generally know what your payments are going to be. Um, Gym and self care stuff, HOA dues, food, mortgage, and security systems. Those all kind of fit into your fixed expenses. Your variable expenses are ones that you don't really plan for, ones that may be quarterly, not monthly, and ones that just kind of pop up. That's going to be things like vehicle maintenance that you have to pay out of pocket for, health expenses that you pay out of pocket for, um, RV, camper, boat, bike insurance, not insurance, but maintenance that you have to do, lawn care, your electric. Up here in the north, it fluctuates. If you live in a place that it's more consistent, uh, middle to South Florida, in the states, the continental U.S. is pretty consistent. Um, Vehicle gas is going to fluctuate. School supplies and school events, travel, vacation, clothing, personal care, entertainment, vet bills. If somebody gets sick, your credit card debts, um, charities and churches, gifts, holidays, and legal fees. Those can all kind of fluctuate and are very situational. Your savings expenses, this is the one that I was going to explain a little bit and why it's considered an expense. Um, savings expenses are things like your retirement accounts, 401k, investment retirement accounts, savings, and college funds, like and grandkids. Um, get my paper. And again, with the savings accounts, for me, I just have things in savings long enough to invest them. But these are considered expenses because you are putting that money away and putting it aside. You're not supposed to touch it. So that's considered an expense because you're putting it away. It's there, it's gone.